Blessed love to each and every one. Give thanks for your presence with us this wonderful evening. We glorify the life given, the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie first in all doings and sayings. Of course, the Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. And I, first of all, would like to welcome you to Radio Anu International. It is the international flavor, the universal spice, right here at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. And you are on the website, the Priest Isaac or Priest Isaac Institute.com. I would like to also welcome one and all to this official launch of this year's Priest Isaac's African History Month essay competition. This is an annual event, and this will be the 9th year that we will be conducting this essay competition. Now, as one of our great icons would always say, I don't intend to be long, but I definitely intend to be strong, because this is an extremely serious subject area that we have to address tonight. I'm sure you know that we are also given a hopefully short but timely lecture entitled Don't Forget the Youths. I would like to begin by giving the audience an idea of what the essay competition is all about. And what I will do, I will read from the official letter which we have sent out to many. And if you have not received your copy of what I am going to read, well, I would hope that you would be in a position this evening to receive your copy. It is a very simple thing to do. You just email us and ask for a copy of the official letter and the budget, and we would send it to you as soon as possible. Now, this is headed, of course, the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge, Rastafari Experience Antigua. And I'm going to read it for you. And it says, Blessed love, and this is to whom it may concern. We of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge / Rastafari Experience Antigua are happy to announce that we will be continuing our annual Priest Isaac's African History Month essay competition. Every year during African History Month, we host a competition at which time we invite the children of our nation, be Antigua and Barbuda, to write an essay entitled, What Does African History / Heritage Mean to Me? ? The reason for this competition is to spark a lasting interest in the hearts of our youths for Africa, African history, and African heritage. The youths are divided into 3 groups: the seniors, the intermediates, and juniors. The ages range from 7 to 17. For each of the previous 8 years of this competition, we have provided prizes such as laptops, tablets, etc. These prizes are allocated through contributions from individuals and organizations of goodwill such as you and yours. I must add that there has never been a year that your humble servant has not put my personal money into this project to make sure that it was successful. This year, 2022, will be a bit different. We will be conducting the usual national essay competition, but this year we are adding the international component for the first time. In other words, we are having a national essay competition and an international essay competition at the same time. All components will be the same. The rules will be the same. The prizes for the international essay competition will mirror that of the national. All things considered. At this time, I am again asking for your assistance in 2022 to ensure that this year's essay competition, or competitions, plural, are successful. I have provided a budget coupled with the different levels of contributions that you can make. Remember that the national budget and the international budget are basically the same. All contributors and contributions will be, as always, published on our website, which is priestisaacinstitute.com, all our social media platforms, as well as on the local media. We will be officially launching the competition on Sunday, January the 16th, 2022 at 7 p.m. on Radio Anu, which is at this time, unless you are listening to it on the rebroadcast. I am hopeful that by this time, which would be tonight, I am hopeful that by this time, you will be in a position to let me know if you will be able to assist this very important project. If not, we are still looking forward to your response. Again, thanks in advance. The Honorable Priest Isaac, founder of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. So basically, that is the letter. And there's a budget that goes with it, and I will speak a bit about that before we complete this little joyful gathering this evening. By now, most of you would have had an idea of why we do this. And our understanding is the philosophy of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, being that a people without knowledge of themselves is like a tree without roots. Now you just imagine what a tree without roots is all about. Just think about it. What's the purpose of the roots of the tree? Is it just to look pretty? Are the roots like legs for the trees to walk? No. The roots are in the ground, the rich soil. When the rain comes and the moisture hits the soil, it assists the soil to release its nutrients and all the good vital stuff that it has. And the roots will suck it in, the moisture and the nutrients and all the good stuff that would make the tree grow. So that's the purpose of the roots. That is why even in medicine, and I mean natural medicine, the roots is extremely powerful. Like maybe, certain plants, the root has more power than the leaves, even if it's a green plant. Check the plant we call the kudja root, the guinea hen I'm talking about. Some people call it gully root, and that is why the root is so hard to pull out of the earth. You can't just pull that out. You got to go for the cutlass and dig in the earth to get the gully root out. And when you break the root and you smell it, it clears up all the sinuses. The noni root, the coconut root, all of these trees, the roots have some serious energy, serious strength, serious nutrients, serious vitality, the roots. So without the roots, the tree would get no nutrients. The tree would get no life. The tree will have no energy. The tree will die without the roots. What did the prophet Marcus Garvey say? A people without knowledge of themselves are like a tree without roots. All you have to do is meditate on that and you get the whole picture. So what is knowledge of self when it comes to our people? Because Marcus Mosiah Garvey did not just say Black people or African people or Caribbean people. He said people, just naturally people. It goes for animals too. That's why the mother hen trains the chick. That's why the lioness trains the cub. Because without knowledge of self, even though you have instincts inside of you, without knowledge of self, you would go astray. So as a people now, there's history that most of us, we're familiar with, the basic stuff. I think most of us understand that, 2, 3, 4, let's say 6 generations ago, it didn't really start here. There's this 400-year story of the transatlantic slave trade, or at least between the beginning of that till now. So we understand that slavery, as it's called, and I would repeat, the transatlantic slave trade played a big part in our history. So much so that although we are fearful of teaching Black history, our history, we are quick to go for that first. If we have to say something about African history, we must mention that we were slaves. So being slaves is our Adam and Eve experience. That's our genesis. That's how we started as slaves, nothing beyond that. And then somehow it stops when slavery ends, because the rich history of the nation that we are in, even that is left out of our curriculum, of which I'm getting there. I'm somewhat jumping ahead of myself. So the history of self, family, your foundation, your culture, where you are from, if that is torn away from you, you would become, according to Marcus Garvey, like a tree that is withering away, that is dying, seeking for life, water, nutrients, nothing. This is why we bring up the concept of the caterpillar and the earthworm. And not necessarily the earthworm, but the worm. I'm thinking about the roots now. The earthworm, will take the soil and loosen it up, but not the earthworm, but the worm. To the untrained eye, a caterpillar appears as if it is a worm. To the untrained eye. If you don't know them well, you would look at a caterpillar and say, oh, mommy, look, you see a worm. Come on, you understand. No disrespect. Good. Now, can you imagine if the worm would have enslaved the caterpillar. Follow me, family, follow me good. As they say in Radio Land, don't touch that dial. Can you imagine if a worm or the worm people would have enslaved the caterpillars? And again, to the untrained eye, they look alike from a distance. I mean, to the untrained eye, a jaguar and a leopard looks the same. So the untrained eye picks up the caterpillar and the worm. So the worm teaches the caterpillar the language of the worm, takes the caterpillar out of the caterpillar kingdom, teaches the caterpillar to eat things that worms eat, sends the caterpillar, listen to this one, sends the caterpillar to worm school. Worm church has the caterpillar worshiping the great worm god. Come on, this is how we tell stories in Africa, you know. We use analogy, allegory, Anansi stories, what we call in Dudley, Nancy story. Yeah. You can imagine the worm now, after putting all of its experience on the caterpillar. Remember, it took away the caterpillar's name, It took away the caterpillar's language, It took away the caterpillar's country, It took away the caterpillar's culture, and then gave the caterpillar its name. So he's no more Mr. Caterpillar, it's Mr. Worm, or Mr. Johnson, or Mr. Freeland. Where did you get these names? What happened to Shaka? What happened to Uncle Unkulu? And then you got the caterpillar, got the worms god. So now listen to me, family. This is not, we're not playing around here. This is serious. Because you see, there comes a time in the caterpillar's life where nature is just going to naturally take over. There's nothing that you, the worm, nor the caterpillar can do about it. So there's going to be this feeling in the caterpillar to weave a beautiful silky-like cocoon. There's going to be the need for the caterpillar to incubate itself for a few months, weeks, whatever it is, and then spring out of the cocoon, spring out of the incubator with beautiful wings, almost like an angel. And the same caterpillar that was, hibernating for the moment, the same caterpillar that was walking on the leafy vegetables and eating and getting fat, the same caterpillar is now a beautiful orange and blue and all sorts of colors butterfly, flying in the sun and sipping the nectar out of the sunflower, and sipping the nectar out of the rose, and sipping the nectar out of the marigold. Beautiful butterflies, and all the children see them. Oh, mommy, watch the butterflies. Worms do not have that sort of future in their destiny. That is not the destination of the worm, but that's the destination of the caterpillar. But if the caterpillar has lost knowledge of self and actually believes that he is a worm, when he starts to feel the vibes and the wings begin to spring, I could imagine mommy caterpillar coming in. Hey, cut them off. We don't want no wings growing in this house here.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
We don't want no wings around here.
Preach it, brother. Go ahead.
Why do you think I send you to college? Why did you think I sent you to school and university? You forgot you have a degree from Worm University? You are an odd fellow. You are a sorority guy. You're a worm. You're not a caterpillar. But mommy, I feel to grow my wings. Shut up. No wings growing in here, or leave my house. I work hard to make you a good worm. You want to pretend you're growing wings, but they can't stop it. They cannot stop it. And you see, family, that analogy is the reality of how we live as a people, where we are in this existence. We, the African people, we are the caterpillar. We are the same caterpillar that for years, man, we are known for building that beautiful incubator, again known as a cocoon, and we spring out and spread our wings and fly up to the sun. What is Priest Isaac talking about? Go and check your history. Have you ever heard about the only standing wonder of the world? The Great Pyramid of Giza. It was not built by worms. It was built by the caterpillars, the African people. It's the most outstanding monument that has ever been built. Many consider it the oldest monument on creation. The most precise number one is the largest. Over 2.5 million blocks that built the Great Pyramid of Giza in Kemet, the place called Egypt today. Over 2.5 million blocks. Each of them weighing between 10 and 100,000 pounds. 10,000, 100,000, not 10 pounds. Yeah. And then when you understand the science of how it's built, it's a pyramid built specifically to align to the four cardinal points of the earth, and at the same time built wherein you find the mathematical equation of pi and epsilon and phi and so many different things. The pyramid, within the whole pyramid structure, you could find the exact distance from the earth to the sun. The pyramid is built on the perfect center of the planet, meaning that it's on the latitude that has the most landmass in its latitude, and it's on the longitude that has the most landmass in its longitude. And with some little, some little tube, lengthy tubes, but small peephole sort of tubes that you can look through. This big, gigantic monument is built in such a way that it perfectly aligns with key stars of the heavens, like the Orion Belt constellation perfectly aligns. Even the 3 major pyramids of Giza is built to align with the 3 belts or the 3 stars in the belt of Orion. Another shaft is built perfectly to align with the constellation known as Sirius, or the star system known as Sirius. And then you must understand, that this is the largest monument, and yet still there's so much mathematics, geometry within it. Even the sides of the pyramids are perfectly built to align with the natural curvature of the planet Earth. And we can go on and on and on and on as it relates to the pyramid. Go to Lalibela in Ethiopia. For those of you who are Christians, for those of you who are followers of Christ, in the 11th or so century, there was a Christian king named Gabre Maskel of Ethiopia. Lalibela, he is more commonly referred to as, and the city is named from him, the city of Lasta in Roha, Lalibela. And there you find 11 to 13 churches carved out of the solid volcanic rock mountains, carved out. Beautiful, beautiful churches, not no cave, no hole in the wall I'm talking about. Churches that some of you wouldn't believe that it was Africans that carved these churches out of the rock. I thought they said they were angels. That's what I said. Africans. You see, it's the worm history now teaching you that Africans can't be angels, because all the angels look funny, that the worms gave to you. Follow me good. All of this is our history, things that some of us don't even know. A simple thing like that, understanding that, science itself and mathematics, even the concept of God, is from the ancient African continent. Even a simple thing like understanding within the biblical structure. The first country mentioned in the Bible that's a recognized country today is the country of Ethiopia. Egypt and Ethiopia are mentioned more times in the Bible, more than Bethlehem and Jerusalem. Then when you comprehend it, that even when it comes to anthropology, that the oldest fossils of human beings, the oldest fossils of human beings found anywhere in the world, on the planet, are in Ethiopia, Northeast Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Somalia, same region. But of course, the oldest, Ethiopia, Kadenumu, the Ignish, Ethiopia, 3.2 million years old, 5.7 million years old, bones, human beings, Homo erectus at least, Ethiopia. So what are we talking about? Listen to this rich history here. The oldest known Christian nation is Ethiopia. The oldest Bible in the world is the Ethiopian Bible, and it's not just one Bible, it's different literature, different books, the Book of Enoch, the New Testament, the Old Testament, the complete Bible in Ge'ez in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is considered to be the resting place of the Ark of the Covenant, even down to the cross of Christ is celebrated every year in Ethiopia, the 27th day of September, Gabre Maskal, or the Feast of Maskal, I should say, specifically saying that the cross of Christ is in Ethiopia. When we understand our ancient history, even a simple thing like Mansa Musa being, the richest human being ever, even up to a day like today, he is still the richest human being ever. Mansa Musa from Mali, Kan. And this is our simple history, family. Imagine if your child was taught this in school, not just in a lecture form, but in a strategic curriculum fashion. And for years, we have been advocating to ministers of education here in Antigua and in other islands too. It's not here alone I do this, In other islands, we have written letters to ministers of education and prime ministers as it relates to putting African history in the curriculum of the school, from K to as far as you go. Tertiary education, it is necessary, and we don't just say it. We lend our services, we contribute our services, and I say contribution. We contribute in the sense that I must give respect to the Corinth School in St. Lucia, of which we taught religious knowledge, archae. And all of that came because of, advocating for Afrocentricity. And give thanks for Empress Natural as well, who helped to facilitate all of that and make sure we cut and clear. But because the whole idea of African history is not something that governments seem to take seriously to put in their educational system, the apparatus thereof, we decided to create the essay competition that you see us do as an extracurricular activity. Because the knowledge, what we just spit a while ago, or spat a while ago, this is the knowledge that would make the caterpillar evolve into a butterfly. But when you strip this knowledge away, the caterpillar would ever believe that he's a worm. Again, what's our language? What language am I speaking to you in? It's English. What happened to our ancient language? Bless up the people, my princess, in some key Swahili, and and remind them of what's going on. Pardon me, family, just put something down here. This is the Honorable Princess Acacia Menin, of course, my young princess, and she at the institute here is totally in charge of the distributing of the key Swahili information that we have on our homeschool program. We have an African Heritage homeschool program with astronomy and the Princess Acacia Menin, and all of our radio programs, and her own radio program, Youth Connect, teaches Kiswahili. Give us a little discussion in Kiswahili. Just talk to the people.
Ujambo, habari gani? That means hello, how are you? Nzuri, asante. That means I'm fine. Thank you. Karibu, welcome. Karibuni, welcome all. Samahani, excuse me. Onongea Kiswahili. Do you speak Swahili? Ndio, yes. Hapana, no. Kidogo, just a little.
Asante sana.
Karibu.
All right. Now, just giving you a little example, so we are so disconnected from who we are. That number one, we're not even speaking our language. We do not teach this in school. If we are an English speaking people, the second language is French or Spanish. If you're a Spanish speaking people, and I'm speaking of Africans too, in the diaspora, carry beyond, we've been carried beyond so far where we belong. So those in Martinique who speak of French, the second language, what they teach you in school, do they teach you Kiswahili in school as Black people? No, they teach you English. In the Spanish-speaking Caribbean countries, do they teach you, Akana or Twi or Tree in school? No, they teach you English. English is the main language here. And we're not saying in this time and space, you don't learn, the language of the day, the Franco lingua specifically of the globe. But you can't rob yourself of knowledge of self. To return to your ancient tongue. There's so much science in picking up your African language. Of course, you can't learn all. Everybody in Africa don't know all the African languages, but connect yourself back to your motherland with the mother language, with the mother tongue. That alone, just to speak it, already begins to fashion certain ideas in your mind. It's a psychological connection. It makes you remember that, hey, I'm not a worm. I am not a worm. So when you feel the wings begin to grow, you will understand what's going on. You will understand how to move. And if Mommy Caterpillar wants to cut the wings off, you don't mind getting out of her way, because she will understand later. She will see later. She will understand later the importance of you knowing why you are a caterpillar. Because some of us that were kicked out of the house for cooking Tupac as Rastafari, we meet Tupac. When they cooking pig and you say, we don't want a pig, and we start to cook ital rice, they say, we don't want you here. No, Tupac cooking in the house. And years after, no disrespect to the grannies, years after, the same granny and the same grandfather come around and say, boy, sonny, I went to the doctor today. Boy, he said the sugar up a bit, I got the ease off of the salt beef and put away the salt fish. Yeah. I see you cook some good food there. Bring something for me now. You don't see how the whole world craving over medical marijuana. Rastaman were persecuted for that. All of this is lack of knowledge of self, Is Black people brutalize Black people for calling on an African God, and for partaking of the tree of life or plant, How they get so ignorant as law enforcement officers and the law and the people that pass the law as well. How is it that they get so ignorant and evil that they could persecute their brothers and sisters for nothing? For just finding their Afrocentricity. It's not just Rasta they persecuted, It's not Rasta they were persecuting alone. They were persecuting Africa. Remember, Rastafari were the ones that rose up saying Africa. Even the Black Power movements, they persecute them. Why? Because they got message and orders from the bigger worms. And listen, this is no disrespect to the worm. Eh? The worm has their own culture. I think caterpillars and worms can live in the same garden, don't you think? But the caterpillar is different than the worm. And that's why it's dangerous for the caterpillar to be around the worm if you don't understand the psychology of the worm. You go into these colleges without knowledge of self. I'm not saying there's something wrong. I could never say that in going and getting your degree and your certificate. Look, I just get my certification. I am certified in archaeoastronomy. I'm an archaeoastronomer officially at this moment. But I'm saying, as a caterpillar going into the Institute of the Worm to learn what the worm has to teach you, so you can present yourself in this worm's world, you should have a knowledge of self as a caterpillar first, and then you could navigate properly. That is why we do the essay competition, to wake up the caterpillars, to shake off the worm god syndrome. Even though this is a worm's world, worms eat different things than caterpillars. Caterpillars go up in the spinach and eat off the leaf. You blink and you look, the whole spinach tree gone. Caterpillar fat. Where's the worm? In the ground looking for some microbiotic thing to eat. Two different people. They're different. They are different. Yeah, they're all human beings and people, but Africans and Europeans are different. As far back as we can go, their culture, different. That's why language, different. Behavior, attitude, naturally, different. Oh, come on, don't tell me nothing. What was done to us, we would never do to nobody. And don't tell me nothing about Africans sell Africans. That's worm thinking. That's a caterpillar thinking like a worm. And here it is. This is the dumbest thing of all. When a caterpillar be telling you that slavery was once legal, listen, them people need some real Afrocentricity in their curriculum. Anybody as a black man that can look at you and give you this excuse as slavery was legal. Legal for who? Legal for who? When the chicken hawk fly out of the sky and pick up the little chicken. I mean, what you're going to tell the chicken? Don't run. This is legal. If slavery was legal, that means if they come to enslave you, you're supposed to stand up and take it, or else you'll be breaking the law. You see how foolish you become? So when did it become legal? When they came into Africa. So when they left where they left and was on the African shore, was slavery legal there? And then they took us on the ship. When did it become legal? Because if it's legal, that means we're not supposed to move. We're supposed to hands up and just go because it's the law. Foolishness. Don't run, zebra. Let the lion eat you. It's legal. It's legal for them. That doesn't have nothing to do with us. That wasn't legal for us, but that shows you your state of mind. Anybody that says that, that shows you the state of mind that we are in. That is what a damaged education system can do for you, because you didn't born thinking like that. You were not born thinking like that. Imagine a red American Indian and the people in the Incas and these people saying, oh, it's all right. Leave Cortez alone. His massacre of us and destroying all of our books. 90% of our books that we can hardly find any. It was legal. It was sanctioned by Spain. Legal. Legal for them, but not for the Incas. Legal for them, not for the Red Indians, not for the Cherokee. But the Cherokee and the Hopi get beat in the head so bad that Thanksgiving time comes, they're around the table to eat in turkey, when Thanksgiving is a symbol of slaughtering them. Them is some caterpillars too that has lost the knowledge of themselves. Not as bad as us, though. I'm talking about the American Indians. But we gone, man. We totally gone. And that is why it is necessary, family. You may not see it fully, but unless you put back Afrocentricity in the curriculum, not even put back because it was never there, but put it in. That is how we began this, Marcus Garvey. A people without knowledge of self is like a tree without root. It's like a caterpillar that thinks it's a worm because they kind of look alike. Remember the reason why I started this essay competition, Well, there's several reasons that built up to it. The main reason for the idea was when the good Sister Dr. Jackie Quinn, who was the Minister of Education at the time when I realized that this wasn't going too far, she clearly said to me that CXC would give it a fight. This is national, international radio, so I know I wouldn't fib on the good doctor. She clearly said to me, and it was said in the presence of the nation because it was on the radio. It was the time of the essay competition, and I gave a call. She was on a program, I think it was on Voice of the People. And I would have already sent her several letters, so she would have been familiar. This is years back, several years back, 9 years or so back. And she clicked now, about 8, yeah. And she said, yeah, she, it's going to be tough. So you see how long we're doing that. And we'd have to be 9, because we're in the 9th year. It's a while back. The young princess, how old are you now? 4? Yeah, man, it would be maybe more than 9. So I said, okay, if this is not going to get into the curriculum, why not we create our own curriculum? At the time, we didn't create no curriculum. We just created an extracurricular activity, which is the essay competition. But we did not implement it until, it wasn't long after, but until we heard a pastor speak about a young sister at a summer camp. And this young sister gave a testimony, and that is what shook me, about having, to join the gang. It's a gang she was in, and to join the gang, she had to have sexual intercourse with 3 brothers in a period of about a minute. So you can just do your maths and see the madness of what was taking place there. That's her initiation. And at the time, she was still a teenager, like in her mid-teens or so. And I said, wow, that's some heavy stuff. That is what made me literally begin the process. And I want to say, so what does that have to do with African history? Again, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Because even in Africa, even in modern day Africa, people in Africa just as lost as those of us in the diaspora, because they as well have forgotten their knowledge, not because they're on the land, not because they're speaking their language, not because they have certain, semblance of their culture, but the psychology is gone, Rasta. Remember, as I mentioned on the program yesterday, in the voodoo tradition, what people call voodoo, in the voodoo tradition, according to Frantz Fanon, and I always bring up this example, Frantz Fanon says, and he's one of our esteemed scholars from right here in the Caribbean, he says specifically that in the voodoo tradition, in the book, The Wretched of the Earth, that if a man, the principle was so high that if a man was to look upon his brother's wife in a way which he was not to look upon his brother's wife, he didn't do nothing, he just look on her. He would need no judge, jury, nor executioner, but he would find some way or manner to go to the family and recompense for the wrong that he has done in his mind. Them is voodoo. That's the same voodoo that they teach you to despise. So you despise voodoo and you big up Sesame Street. You can imagine that. So you that tradition there, they make you feel it's chicken liver and heads on sticks and all of them foolishness, frog legs. That's witchcraft. That's not what we're into. Yes, Africa has some different traditions still, I wouldn't disagree. But in all the different tribes and traditions of Africa, there's this one moral concept. And it's seen in the Obeya. Another thing that we discard and we try to confuse people with talking about Obeya. These are ancient traditions which have some mystical aspect to them as well for good doing. Is you who come in the diaspora go and spend money to them people there to go and trouble other people's children so that they won't succeed. Don't try to blame that on the African tradition. So in the voodoo tradition, it was so clean that you didn't have to do anything but just think something in your mind wrong and you clean yourself up quick. Obviously, that had to be coming from generations. It had to be a system that was put in place and perfected. That's why Christ could come and say, in the time of Moses, if you were to commit adultery, they would stone you or hang you or burn you alive. But verily, verily, I say unto you today, even if you conceive it, you have already achieved it. The power of the mind, the power of thought. Christ understood that. Voodoo, Africa. So if we as children grew up on that instead of Jet Li, if we grew up on that instead of Steven Seagal and all of that other stuff, a lot of stuff we grew up on, unnecessary stuff we grew up on, to replace the nutrients that we would be getting if we had our roots. Don't forget what Marcus Garvey said. So in conclusion, family, I want to read through a scripture here quickly. In fact, I would not even really read the scripture, I will just highlight the scripture to you. It is the book of Numbers chapter 13. And when you get some time, maybe you can go through it thoroughly. But please, I crave your indulgence as such to just bear with me or tiger with me a bit more. And I will read a few verses from it. Verse 1 and continuing. Blessed love. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which will become the land of Israel, which I gave unto the children of Israel, for every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, every one a ruler among them. And Moses, by the command of the Lord, sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All those men were the heads of the children of Israel. And it has the list of the names of the people and all the tribes of Israel. I would not read through all of that. Verse 16 now, but it's all the tribes and the names of the leader. Good. These are the names of the men which Moses sent out to spy out the land. Moses called Oshia, which is Joshua, the son of Nun, Jehoshua. Several names here. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said unto them, Get you up this way southwards and go up into the mountains and see the land, what it is, and the people that dwell therein, whether they be strong or weak, few or many. And they went into the land. I'm speaking now, and they searched out the land, and they saw, great giants, and they saw a lot of food, and they saw a lot of fruits in the land, and the size of the grapes and pomegranates, and so many good things. So anyway, verse 25, because I'm just trying to cut it short. And they returned from searching the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them. And all the congregation they showed them the fruit of the land. So they showed them the fruit. And they told them, man, this is a land flowing with milk and honey, And nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. Now, the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell in the sea by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, no. We be not able to go up against these people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched out unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we were gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw were men of great stature. And do you know, because of this is the reason why they had to wander in the wilderness up and down there. Let me show you this, family. What you have here, Caleb and Joshua were the two younger ones in this congregation. The other 10 individuals were elders, people that moved with Moses long time, in a sense, big people, old people. And they were the heads of the other tribes. But the two younger ones were Joshua and Caleb. And Moses sent them to spy out the land of Israel, which is the land that will become the land of Israel. So when they went and they saw the fruit, remember, they see all the good stuff, milk and honey and fruits, big trees, and the fat of the land, and this and that and everything good. And they bring back fruits and say, look what we have. So Moses said, well, we're ready to go in, man. Maybe it's just 40 days they spend in. Just across the hill they went in. When they come back now, Joshua and Caleb say, yeah, man, we're ready to go. We could have beat them there one time. I don't know why them old fogies came back. But anyway, maybe they wanted reinforcement. We ready, Moses. The old fella said, no. You crazy? No. I get in my pension now. No. These fellas are too big, Moses. They're big. So what you want us to do? Go back to Egypt? Well, do you know they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years until all them old people died out? Joshua and Caleb were the only two people that spied out the land, that returned to the land. Can you imagine that? Just think about that. Because the old people, the elder ones, no disrespect, were afraid, scared to go into the land and battle the enemy, even though they could see the reward. The Almighty God was upset with them. That is us today. Those of us that are old, the mature people, we are afraid of the system. You don't see them young people not afraid? Can't you see the young people are not afraid? Yeah, a few old people may be like that, but very few. And some of them have their own political agenda. Disgusting. I know what I'm talking about. But the young people are not afraid. You have to make them afraid. You have to give them an educational system that teaches them about the world, so that they can big up Christopher Columbus, so that they can big up Santa Claus and this ho and this Merry Christmas that has nothing to do with them. And it ain't got nothing to do with Christ neither. It ain't got nothing to do with Christ. Fill them with holidays and Easter bunny and Easter eggs and Disney Channel and cartoon. No Afrocentricity whatsoever. Eat anything, listen to anything. Forget totally about your motherland, where you came from. No worry, you done left nobody there. Yet still you can go where they took you from and find people that look like you. We're just happy to be this new Negro. The old people were afraid to go back into the land. They're afraid. Them old people around here, they're afraid. Anything America say, America can give them injection that they experimenting on. You getting stuff that is being experimented on and going back for first booster, second booster, and third booster. And any of you that listening to me, and feel offended and say, oh, well, we ain't going to contribute to you because you're saying that. I do not care. We ain't come to bow and beg nobody for nothing in them. This is your duty. This is our children. You see, Joshua and Caleb stand up for the right of all of us so we can inherit the land because they were not afraid. Is the old people afraid? Bow to everything. That is why our politicians swear to Queen Elizabeth. I don't take that as no joking. Nobody can tell me nothing about no politics and oh, this and you need to this and don't tell me what I need to do. We need to stop swearing to Queen Elizabeth, her heirs and her successors. Foolishness. And I don't mean just drop it like Barbados. No. Barbados still have the same educational system. Nothing changed in Barbados. What changed in Barbados? I ain't playing around, you know. This ain't just talk. This is serious. Give thanks. So what I'm saying, family, is this. We see this as our responsibility. Nobody's making no effort to put African history in the schools. So every year, we make sure we get gifts. Gifts. Once upon a time, I was thinking of just giving money and somebody convinced me not to. No, don't do it money. People like to say give books. Books can be a part of it, but these children don't want no books. You don't understand? What do you think going on here? They want laptops. They want the latest phone. They want the latest tablets. That's what they want. This is tried and proven, family. We've been doing this for 9 years. I don't think the support has been strong because every single year we got to go into our pocket and pull out hundreds or more, if not thousands of dollars. I must say in the last several years, since we have not been doing the prize giving ceremony live, because we always have a big event for the prize giving ceremony. Yeah, but since the pandemic time, we have not really pushed the prize giving ceremony like that. So that has taken a lot out of the budget. What still, I find that we are slow to respond to this worthy cause. As Brother Ibe said on the program yesterday, when I made a statement about this not being no fundraising, no money-making thing, he said, I hear you say that already. Of course. Because it's obvious that we are business-minded. Everybody always said that, man, you're always doing something. So straight up. And this is something we're doing. But I just want to be clear that there's no profit whatsoever that comes from this. And it will never happen because the more you contribute is the more that we will give. Do you know, listen to me good, that the 3 sections that we have for the last several years, it's always been a first prize for each segment. The very first time I did it, I had 3 prizes for each section, pardon me. So in other words, the junior would have a first, a second, and a third prize. The intermediate would have a first, a second, and a third prize. The senior would have a first, a second, and a third prize. I've carried this idea to the Ministry of Education, hoping that the Ministry of Education could just take this itself and make it be a part of their programming. This national essay competition specifically should be a part of the national budget for the education system going forward. I'm not just saying, so I write and put this in writing already several times. I should not be, listen to me, I should not be asking for assistance to do this. This is year number 9. And I know some of you listening say, yeah, man, the Prime Minister should, well, you call the Prime Minister, man. Yeah, that's it. We all like to watch one person do everything. Yeah, man, you go ahead. You're doing good. You ain't doing no good. we can do better. Even what you're listening to now, tonight, how many of you have shared the link? A simple thing like that, just sharing the link. This is not a joke. We need to get our youth's minds straight, especially those of us who are conscious. So this should be a part of the educational system. The budget that is going to be, there's going to be a budget speech in the next few weeks or a few days. This program here that we are speaking of should be a part of the educational budget. And be island-wide. As you notice, I'm taking it international now. I had to think long and hard if I'm ready to do it international. But I decided, yeah, we're going to do it. So it's gone international now. So an individual can see the reason why this is done and can see the efforts that we put into it. How important it is that this becomes a staple in our community. It's a must. What else is out there to bring our children to the Afrocentricity? I hear people talk all the time on the radio, oh, this and we need this in school and need that in school. I'm not a talker. And some of them have the nerve to see me and say, oh, we need to hear your voice more. This ain't no talking thing. This is doing. I mean, you hear my voice. I have a whole radio station around. Some people tired of hearing my voice. You understand? So this is why now, family, it is you I am reaching out to. As we did the lecture the other evening, the duty of a Rastafari is the duty of anyone that say they believe in truth and rights. And we were highlighting the hymn, hark the voice of niggers calling, hark the voice of niggers crying, who will come and work today? Fields are white and harvests plenty, who will bear the sheaves away? Here am I, Lord, send me, and it says, if you can't preach like Paul, if you can't sing like angels, if you can't give your thousands, you can give your withers might. Don't ever say there's nothing you can do. As I just said a moment, even to share this stream here, that's something you can do, because someone else will get the message and do what you can't do. So if you can't give $1,000 for the essay competition and you share the stream, somebody might hear it and say, what? That's what's going on there? I will give the $1,000. Just think about that. Everyone should be doing something. Can't just sit down and watch me. Say, oh boy, you can speak. I can't speak like you, but it's all right. You can type faster than me, I am sure. That's what I'm saying. So family, those who may have just been coming or just came in. And we will repeat this program tomorrow evening. Well, this is the night of the 16th. And we intend to repeat this program tomorrow, the 17th. And maybe the 18th too. So that the knowledge can get into the message can get into the minds of the people. We will repeat it after the tiger's nest. But hear me now. If you're just coming in, at the beginning of the program, I read the official letter to send this essay competition for 2022 forward. Now, I would like to read it again quickly, but before I do that, let me just say that you can get a copy of it yourself. Please don't touch the dial. You can get a copy of it yourself by just emailing us. You're on the website, and thanks for visiting the website too. The email is all over the website, plus the email is Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Now, let me just give you an idea of the budget. And keep in mind, family, please, this is not the launch of the competition itself, but the promotion part of the competition. So in other words, I'm not asking for anyone. I know maybe some parents are already listening and how do I write which essay, which group? And no, we don't reach there yet. We don't reach there yet. We have to get all the gifts first. I have a tablet already secured as far as the gift giving. But this depends on myself and you, companies and people, family, even the letter. If you can't do nothing, you can send the letter out to other companies and other people and let them see what we're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is a very important venture. So it is the budget of 2022 Priest Isaac's African Heritage / African History / Heritage Month essay competition. Now listen to this. The first prize for the seniors is a Dell Inspiron 35110 laptop. The value of it is $579. Everything is in US, by the way. The first prize for the intermediates would be an HP 15-inch laptop. And that's 11th generation Intel Core, $537 for that. And the first prize for the juniors is one free HD 10 kids tablet. That's how it's called, kids. We don't promote kids here, but I'm just giving you the official name. So if you go and look it up, you can see it for yourself. Everything can be found on Amazon. HD, free HD, high definition, 10 kids tablet, only $199 for that one there. And then we have for the national media promotion, that's $500. For the international media promotion, that's $500. We also have shipping, handling, transportation, and communication, that's $750 United States dollars. And it's a total of $2,565. So the national budget is $2,565. This is the national budget now. The national budget is $565. So for full sponsorship is $2,565. So if you want to full sponsor everything, it's $2,565, but that's United States currency. Platinum sponsorship is $2,000. Diamond sponsorship is $1,500. Gold sponsorship is $1,000. Silver sponsorship is $500, or whatever you can afford. So if you email us right now, priestIsaacInstitute@gmail.com, because we don't have time to waste on this. By this evening, I was hoping, because what I'm reading to you, we've sent many letters out all over. So we were hoping by now that, these prizes would have already been acquired. But you see, to me, our people don't take this serious, or as serious as we should. Let me put it that way. And, so we were expecting that ones would have stepped up to the plate, seeing how this has always been successful. This has never failed. Nobody has ever complained. Everything we promise people get. So what is the problem? If it was some bacchanal foolishness, all the big sponsors would come up. Oh yes, I represent so-and-so Tel, and we are proud to sponsor this year's Bacchanal on the Beach. That's how it is. That is exactly how it is. Yes, and we're giving a check for $5,000. And then we have the international budget. So again, just email us. Email us now and tell us what you can do. Then we have the international budget. Now, obviously, when February hits, we'd have to make strong decisions of exactly what we're going to do. And this is why by this tonight, we would have expected to say, well, this is where we're going. So those of you who are listening, who understand what we're doing, we are looking for that support. This is why, you know, family, in November, we have our Patrons Day, you know, and our telethon. It's not just raising no money. It is raising money. So when February comes, we don't have to ask nobody for anything. We can just go and buy all the prizes. But you see, again, we as a people, we have not woken up yet to really understand the importance of putting our shoulder to the wheel and putting a pedal to the metal to assist in this liberation struggle. So the international budget is also $2,565. Full sponsorship for the international one is $2,565. Platinum, $2,000. Diamond sponsorship, $1,500. Gold sponsorship, $1,000. And silver sponsorship, $500, or what you can afford. Thank you in advance, the letter says, and of course it is signed by me, the Honorable Priest T.O.N. Isaac, founder of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. So family, when you contact me, you'd have to let me know which essay competition you are contributing to. Is it the is it the national, which is Antigua and Barbuda, or is it international? Two of them we're doing this year, family. Two of them. Because I decided I can't leave the international community out. You know why? Because I'm an international human being. I think the international community checked for me more than the national community. Real thing. Real thing. So I had no intention of leaving the international community out of it. We have a homeschool program, you know, that we do. We have much more international people on our homeschool than people in Antigua and Barbuda. So we cannot leave the international community out of it. So family, as I said, the letter is available. Just quickly, let me read it for you one more time. We of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge, Rastafari Experience Antigua, are very happy to announce that we will be continuing our annual Priest Isaac's African History Month essay competition. Every year during African History Month, we host a competition at which time we invite children of our nation, Antigua and Barbuda, to write an essay entitled, "What Does African History/Heritage Mean to Me?" The reason for this competition is to spark a lasting interest in the hearts of our youths for African history and heritage. The youths are divided into three groups: the seniors, the intermediates, and juniors. The ages range from 7 to 17. For each of the previous 8 years, and let me say before I continue, you can also get this via WhatsApp too. The number is 728-8289 for those locally. Of course, area code 1268. 728-8269. 8289, pardon me. Repeat. Area code 1268. Give thanks, princess. Actual number 728-8289. Very good. For each of the previous 8 years of this competition, we have provided prizes such as laptops, tablets, etc. These prizes are allocated through contributions from individuals and organizations of goodwill, such as you and yours. I must add that there has never been a year that your humble servant has not put my personal money into this project to make sure that it was successful. This year, 2022, will be a bit different. We will be conducting the usual national essay competition, but this year we are adding the international component for the first time. In other words, we are having a national essay competition and an international essay competition at the same time. All components will be the same. The rules will be the same. The prizes for the international essay competition will mirror that of the national, all things considered. At this time, I am again asking for your assistance in 2022 to ensure that this year's essay competitions are successful. I have provided a budget coupled with the different levels of contributions that you can make. Remember that the national budget and the international budget are basically the same. All contributors and contributions will be, as always, published on our website, priestIsaacInstitute.com, all our social media platforms, as well as on local media. We will be officially launching the competition on Sunday, the 16th of January, 2022 at 7 p.m. on Radio Anu. I am hopeful that by this time, you will be in a position to let me know if you will be able to assist in this very important project. If not, we are still looking forward to your response. Thanks again in advance, Honorable Priest T.O.N. Isaac, founder of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. And once again, you could contact us, area code 1268-728-8289. WhatsApp as well. We could send you the information, the letter, and the budget via that medium as well. I'm really looking forward to your assistance and contribution in this very worthy project. As I said, we must remember the youths. That is the case. Remember the youths, because the war is really set against the children. That's why they call them kids. That's why they give them shots as soon as they are born, because the war is against the young minds, the young ones. We feel that the slavery thing and colonialism is done. Impossible. Still swearing to the queen. Impossible. Still don't even know our language, our name, nothing. Still serving the enemy's God. Nah, man. This is why our educational system, if it doesn't reflect who we are supposed to be, it reflects a good servant to white supremacy. That's what our educational system reflects. Even in our curriculum here, we don't even have local history in it, much more African history. So this is why we're pushing African history, not Black Antiguan history, African history. Give thanks for your presence with us. I'm really appreciative that you came and joined us here on Radio Anu. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, blessed Lord.